From the cradle of innovation, it's time for Silicon Valley Startups Radio with Pramod Rustagi. This is the program that shines a spotlight on Bay Area founders and developers, their innovative products and services, and the investment opportunities they present. Want to know if, when, and how to get in on the next big thing? Keep listening. Now, your host for Silicon Valley Startups Radio, Pramod Rustagi.
Welcome to this week's Silicon Valley Startups Radio. We have with us in studio Stan Khlevner, CEO and co-founder of DroneVX. They're on a mission to provide ad agencies, marketing firms, production houses, and all stock content buyers with dependable and easily accessible aerial content, while at the same time helping commercial drone pilots license and sell their drone-captured images and footage. Stan, thanks so much to come in to talk to us at Silicon Valley Startups Radio.
Thank you, Pramod.
Stan, before we talk about photography and video, can you tell us about how you got into drones and how long you've been into droning?
Absolutely. About, I would say, a year ago, or just under a year ago, I went to a buddy's workshop and he had a Phantom 3 standard sitting in a corner in a milk crate. And when I asked him about it, he's like, well, this is a drone. And immediately I had heard about drones, but never flew one, never actually saw one in person. And I immediately asked to go fly, and we went to the other side of 280 over here in the Bay Area, and we flew it. And that first flight really kind of hooked me. I bought the drone from him for a good price, and then started flying kind of as, recreationally. And that's where I got started in a sense.
So Stan, is it really that complex to get video from a drone? If I need some video, don't I just go down to Fry's and buy a drone, strap on a small GoPro, and juice up the batteries, and I'm ready to go?
Well, in one regard, yes, you can easily do that, and also buy it on Amazon, and in a few days you'll have a, prosumer or even a professional grade drone. But you can fly recreationally, it's not a problem. The issue arises when you want to do something commercial with anything relating to drones and want to make money for it. That's where you have to actually be certified.
So what's the latest photography technology for drones? 4K video, 120 frames per second, slow-mo, maybe some 3-axis stabilization?
Yeah, so the stabilization has existed for a few years now. DJI, which is a leader in this space, came out with their Phantom 4 Pro, which for $1,500 gets you as professional of a drone as you can get. 4K, cinematic 4K in 60 frames per second. And that's really nice, high quality video. And you can also get a Mavic for about $1,000, and their cinematic 4K is 24 frames a second. And just the regular 4K you can get at 30, which is still, really nice video.
So out of the box, that's the drone plus the camera is around $1,500.
Yeah, it's all integrated. And then there's still the ones that use, it really ranges. You can have a custom rig and strap a red weapon on it, which is like a $40,000 camera, and get, cinematic, really, truly, movie quality images, but you got to pay the price in a sense.
So Stan, what issues and problems are you trying to solve with the DroneVX platform?
Yeah, so our platform is a media marketplace. And what we've witnessed happening since the Part 107 regulation came out in August 29th of last year is there's now an influx of these certified drone pilots, whereas before you actually had to be a pilot of an aircraft or a helicopter to fly drones commercially. Now you take a $150 test and 60 questions, and if you pass, you can be a commercial drone pilot. And so identifying that, and also kind of at the same time as I was forming this company, thinking about how I can commercialize my content, I basically realized that there is no kind of legal marketplace for this data. And also, the consumers, the end users, can mitigate the risk of not knowing exactly what is risky content to buy versus legally captured drone content because of all the regulation around it.
So how do you identify this risk-prone aerial media? And how do you help mitigate the risk of your end customer? It takes a long time to watch all this drone video. How will you determine if the footage is worthy of putting onto your DroneVX platform?
Yeah, so sometimes it's fairly obvious. So you need a night waiver from the FAA to fly at night legally. You also can't fly over people, and you can't fly over moving vehicles. And so if you see video that does that, or images that are directly over a freeway, well, that's kind of what I'm calling illegally captured or risky content. Just because if you don't have that waiver, and all those waivers are publicly available on the FAA site to review, as the consumer and user of that content, you're opening up yourself up to that risk. So the second part of that question, how do we determine if the footage is worthy? There really is no technology out there right now that can tell you yes or no, this content was, illegally obtained and has a waiver. And we're actually developing the software component of that. So that's what we're doing as a company. But right now, it has to be kind of done manually in a sense and taken on the pilot's word. Obviously, we're focusing on the legal aspect, so we only work with certified pilots, and it's kind of on the pilots to provide the content that, if they do have a night waiver, then that's fine. But we ask them, if we notice a piece of content is taken at night, we will say, did you have a night waiver for that? And if they say no, then we won't put it up on our platform, things like that.
If you have just joined us, we're talking with Stan Khlevner, CEO and co-founder of DroneVX. They are on a mission to help drone pilots commercialize their services and footage, while also giving stock content buyers a dependable and easily accessible source of aerial content. So Stan, your end goal is to build a site that catalogs licensed drone footage so that anyone can find and use it for their purpose. How is the licensing going to work? Will the licensing be similar to traditional stock photography sites, such as what Adobe has? They have over 60 million photos.
Yeah, the licensing is actually very similar. So in the stock images and footage space, there's a strong division between editorial content, what's called rights managed, and royalty free. And the royalty free is kind of an open blanket for content to be used, but also still kind of, not at like a national scale. The rights managed is specific use cases. So that's kind of where the majority of the market is in the stock content world is, I want to use this piece of content in a movie. The distribution is going to be national, and then you specifically license to that use case. So it will be very similar to what we're doing.
And what about YouTube? Can't they quickly and simply put together a channel for drone footage and compete with you directly?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually encourage our pilots to kind of put up their portfolio on YouTube because it does support 4K footage. It's not necessarily a competitor to us. We look at it as, it helps pilots also commercialize their content, but in a different way, in a more promotional way. Whereas we're licensing for specific use cases, the pilots that upload to YouTube, they're getting ad revenue from, promotional videos, and it's mostly videos on YouTube, but it's not exactly our business model.
Did you get any of the footage from the Lady Gaga halftime show at the Super Bowl last week? 300 drones powered by Intel creating the Pepsi logo and the Intel logo and the stars and stripes in the sky overhead. Lady Gaga, that's pretty awesome.
That is awesome. I was watching it live, and I was a little nerve-wracked being in the industry that something would go wrong, but it went very smoothly. Those drones actually were used at Disneyland prior to that for their aerial shows, and it's a great promotion of the industry.
So Stan, how are you funding your company, and are you looking to raise more funds?
We're currently bootstrapping, and we are ready to launch our platform, but we're shifted gears right now to fundraising to help kind of solidify our space in the drone world and industry right now. So we are actively raising funds. So if you're an investor, I'd love to speak to you.
So Stan, can you spell out the name of your website and how people can contact you?
Yeah, we are DroneVX.com. That's DroneVX.com. And my email is sk@DroneVX.com. If you're a pilot, investor, or just even interested in the space, please feel free to email me, and you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Angel Co.
That was Stan Khlevner of DroneVX. They're on a mission to help drone pilots commercialize their services and footage while also giving stock content buyers a dependable and easily accessible source of aerial content.
For more information on this program, visit SiliconValleyStartupsRadio.com.